Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today is a very serious video. Now I'm gonna need for you guys to really pay attention to what I am saying to you today. Stop using rice water if your hair does this. So many of us do already know about rice water. Rice water is a beneficial natural ingredient or natural formula that helps your hair grow at a faster rate. But there are things to be aware of, because too much of a good thing is not always good after a while. So it is very important that you guys pay attention to your hair, and pay attention to your hair while using rice water, and pay attention to how frequently you're using the rice water as well. So in today's video, I'm going to go over a few things that you should be looking out for and just kind of being aware of while using rice water on your hair, because we do know that rice water does benefit you, but using too much of it or using it and not really paying attention to your hair can be very, very dangerous for your hair as well. So one thing that you really want to look out for is protein overload. Yes, protein overload is very, very possible while using rice water. So what you're going to want to do is look for the 4 top signs in noticing and diagnosing protein overload in your hair. And as you guys know, rice water does have a plethora of benefits, and it has a plethora of just good ingredients that your hair does need. But if you do it too much, or if you do it while not really paying attention to your hair, it can turn bad real fast. I have not experienced protein overload myself, but I have seen some people who did kind of go through that, and I just want to put you guys on alert to be aware of what your hair is doing while you're using rice water. So rice water naturally has protein in it, as well as vitamin B and vitamin E. It also has minerals and antioxidants all in it as well. The amount of vitamins and antioxidants and things like that all depend on how much you let it ferment. As you guys know, I told you guys that I don't let mine ferment because I just don't want to. I use my rice water very frequently, so I don't want to ferment it and it just be spraying fermented rice water in my hair, because I don't wash my hair every time I spray it in. I just do a light mist on my scalp, and then I will go and I'll just go ahead and let my scalp dry. So the first sign that you're going to look for when trying to diagnose or just trying to make sure that you don't have protein overload, if your hair becomes unusually dry and brittle, it's not really what you're used to. It's more dry and more brittle than what you're usually used to your hair feeling like. You might want to kind of take a step back and just really examine what's going on with your hair if you're using rice water. And rice water is not the only way you can get protein buildup. There are many ways. Like if you're just doing too many protein treatments, or if you're just applying too much protein to your hair, it can become a bad thing and it can start damaging your hair. So another thing that you're going to want to look for and be aware of is if your hair starts to have excessive shedding or excessive tangling. This is another sign of protein buildup, so you want to make sure you're looking out for that. You might want to take a step back and kind of see how much protein is in the products that you're using, as well as the rice water if you're using the rice water frequently, because I know I'm using it about every other day right now, or every 2 days. So that could be frequent, or that could be really frequent to a lot of people, but I didn't let mine ferment, and I am making sure that I'm paying attention to what my hair is doing as far as these braids. When I spray it on, the next day I will kind of feel it and just see if my hair is really dry. And if your ends start to get really tangled, or if your hair starts to feel extremely tangled or more tangled than normal, you might want to also look and see, or just kind of take a step back from the rice water, or take a step back from the protein products that you're putting in your hair at the moment. So if you're somebody who has hair that naturally feels kind of soft, or you have a soft hair texture, or your hair just feels soft normally, another sign of protein buildup is when your hair starts to feel really stiff and kind of feel like straw. That is another sign of protein buildup, so you definitely want to be on alert for that, and you definitely want to pay attention to your hair before you started using the rice water and after. You just want to make sure you're paying attention, because like I said before, too much of a good thing is not always good. So another thing, or the last major sign that you're looking for, is if your hair really starts to break off very easy. So y'all, if your hair is breaking off really easy, like if you're going like this and you're seeing that you're winding up with more hair than normal, you probably do have protein buildup. And like I said before, rice water is not the only way that you can get protein buildup. You can get that from applying too many protein treatments, or just applying too many products that have protein in them, because you do want to make sure that you're paying attention to your hair as if it was your child. You have to pay attention to everything, as far as the length of your hair, as far as the feeling of your hair, even down to how your hair reacts with the new products or the old products that you're applying to your hair. So it's just really important to make sure that you're paying attention to the things that your hair does like, and the things that your hair responds well to, versus things that your hair doesn't really respond well to. So that's just something to definitely be aware of, because nobody wants to grow their hair out just for it to break off, or just for you to lose hair in the end. So you definitely want to pay attention to those signs, and just pay attention to how your hair is feeling while you are using the rice water, or while you're using any type of protein treatment altogether. Because a few other signs of protein overload is dull or dirty looking hair. So your hair is looking unusually dull, or duller than it does before. Now some people, their hair doesn't look shiny. Like my hair doesn't always look shiny just by looking at it. So if you are checking off all of these things on the list, then 9 times out of 10 you do have protein overload, and it's time to kind of take a step back, examine your hair care routine, and just kind of see what you can improve on or take away from your hair care routine, so that your hair isn't really suffering. But this is not the end of the world. If you do have protein overload, it can be corrected. Correcting protein overload can take either 2 weeks up to a month, or 3 months. It just all depends on how consistent you are with the regimen that you're doing for your hair. One important factor to look into is to start buying products that don't have protein in them, because if you have protein overload, the last thing you want to do is go ahead and add more protein to your hair, because that's not going to help anything. That's just going to make it worse. So we're not trying to do that. So the next thing you're going to want to do is to find a clarifying shampoo. And as y'all know, shampoos do kind of strip your hair a bit. So I would really say find a shampoo that does not have parabens in it, but you do want to find a clarifying shampoo, just so that it can remove some of the excess protein in your hair. So that's another thing you can do to kind of combat protein overload. So if you guys did not know this, with protein overload, when you have too much protein in your hair, it does hinder you from being able to properly moisturize your hair, or it just more so hinders your hair from being able to suck in the moisture and hold on to it, because your hair is already full of protein, so there's really no space in your hair shaft for any type of moisture. So another thing you are going to want to do is you're going to want to deep condition on a weekly basis, or honestly just deep condition whenever you think about it. But you want to be also wary of the fact that too much deep conditioning can lead to moisture overload. So y'all really want to pay attention to what's going on with your hair. But if you're going to deep condition, make sure you find a product that has no protein in it, because the last thing you need to be doing is putting a moisturizer or a deep conditioner in your hair that has more protein. So just be wary and make sure you're reading the ingredients before you purchase the product. So those are all the tips that I have for combating protein overload. You just want to make sure you're paying attention to your hair. It's really, really important that you do that. And listen, using rice water can be a little dangerous if you're not paying attention to what's going on with your hair. So just make sure that you are very adamant and very, very hands-on when it comes to what you're doing with your hair. And I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I tried to compile as much knowledge and evidence as much as I could, just to kind of help you guys out if you are suffering from protein overload. And you don't even have to be using rice water, but if this sounds like your hair, definitely pay attention to the tricks to combat the protein overload and apply them to your regimen as well. I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Like, comment, subscribe if you have not already. Hit the notification bell if you have not already. Again, thank you guys so much for watching my channel, and I will see you guys next time in my next video. So goodbye. Hey guys, so I'm trying something new out with my content. So if you made it to the end of this video, you are definitely a trooper, and I thank you guys so much, so much for your comments and your support. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time in my next video.